I'm the Vice President of Information Systems, and DRMP is a multidiscipline civil engineering company with offices and presence mainly in the Southeast United States. So, we have groups that do survey, transportation, structures, primarily bridges, construction inspection, GIS. So, yeah, really multidiscipline engineering. So I started in desktop support, and then through the years, kind of, worked my way up to vice president. And so really, we've done a lot of focus lately, of course, like I'm sure everyone, but like with migrating workloads to the cloud, automation, business process improvements. And that's really where, signNow, where we came across signNow is because we were looking for a good way to automate some of our signature workflows, because the previous process was very manual, where you had like Word templates getting printed for like purchase orders and HR documents. And then they would be signed and then sometimes scanned to email back to somebody who then had to print them and put them in a file folder. Just very, very clunky. Sometimes physically sent with regular signatures through the mail. And so we knew we needed something. And we did evaluate a couple options. And we did already have like a DocuSign account, but just based on what our needs were and from a price standpoint, signNow was superior to a DocuSign.
Who's using it at your organization? How widespread is it on your team or department? Or
it's pretty widespread, where every department, like almost every department, has an administrative assistant who has a signNow account, and the usage has jumped up. So like there's 3 or 4 people in IS. Almost everybody in the HR department has signNow. Every one of our administrative assistants have signNow. And some folks in marketing. It did completely, revolutionize the way we handle signatures internally. During the pandemic, when everyone got sent home, if we still would have had those manual paper processes in place for signatures, we would have been in big trouble. Like we would have had a hard time managing our workflows. I mean, like invoices that were stuck in like the old school manila folders with the string, and filled out who it goes to and sent an interoffice mail, like that process would have to be duplicated somehow at scale. I mean, we receive hundreds of invoices a month. It would have created a lot of headache and or probably missed payments. I can only speculate what the ramification of that. It would have been a mess, right? So the risk would be like, okay, an invoice or a purchase order that we need for something kind of time sensitive, it needs to be sent to 3 or 4 people. Well, each person in that chain needs to receive the manila envelope, open it up, review it, decide to sign it, either give it back to their admin, walk it to the person, or put it at the reception desk for interoffice mail to pick it up and to deliver it to the next person. And then sometimes as it moves up the chain, I might come across an individual who may notoriously not get to their mail in a timely fashion. So it could literally take weeks. And at that point, you wouldn't really know in the process where it's at unless, you would have to follow up via phone. Hey, did you sign this? Okay, where's it at? Where it's like, once it's in signNow, not only can you set the reminders to ping people, hey, we're still waiting on you to sign this document, but whoever created it can see exactly where it's been left off in the process. And then once it's signed, everybody gets the way we do it, everyone gets a notification with a copy of the PDF of the completed document. So everyone's on the same page. So, the paper saving part is great, right? But the time saving is really where the money is at.
Would you say there's like a specific feature? I think you're using it in the standard way, but is there a specific feature that you like about signNow specifically?
Definitely the fact that it has an app. And that's actually another good point. Before, with the paper processes, if somebody was out of the office, it was impossible for them to even look at their manila folder. So, and especially for some of our principals and executives that would travel a lot or be out of the office, the fact that they can just pop in whenever and they get the notification on their iOS or Android device that a document's ready to be signed really helped out a lot. So we are using the mobile apps. We are using some of the templates for routine purchases, like we have some PO templates in there. The HR group, they have their own team inside of there, and so they use it for their documents, and I think they have some templates for standardized forms that they use. We haven't integrated it really with Teams yet or with Word. I've seen some stuff on that, just haven't kind of taken the time to figure out what that would mean and how to do that.
What was the process of implementing signNow like? Were there headaches? Was it smooth? Were people reluctant? I guess you had already implemented DocuSign, so people were at least used to having an e-signature tool. But
well, even with DocuSign, it was still probably about like 10, maybe even sub 10 people doing that, and really just externally. So internally, it was a completely new thing. So part of it was the project manager we had in IS at the time. She was able to put together demos and getting the support of the other administrative assistants, and including accounts payable and HR and other folks that would be using it to sort of show the value of what it's going to look like, and creating that small group of internal champions that were for this change. And then from my standpoint, like kind of really understanding how it was going to work at that point in time, I was very sort of hands-on in that project, just because I knew the scope of it was going to cross across all company lines. And so sometimes just politically or managerially, I may have to have discussions with other managers to gain the support to get this moving. So, but then once they were able to see the demo, feel comfortable with the way it was going to look, then I did have the project manager at the time. She did sort of oversee the rollout and was very much in touch with each group as they were expanding their use. And so now each group kind of has their own sort of signNow expert. And so then as new people come on board, new admins come on board, we still create the accounts for them, but then they have somebody who can show them exactly what they need to do inside of signNow. So yeah, that was pretty much the process. And then we had several larger training meetings when we first put it in, so people could ask questions and talk through the workflows.
Were there any more qualitative changes? Were people's experiences, any anecdotes? Were people a little bit happier? Any other changes once you had signNow?
Yeah, I mean, I think just for the folks who do get a lot of things to sign, and typically that's some of our higher level individuals, and myself included, having them come to me automated was a huge bonus, because you didn't feel like because you could batch it at that point. What I would do, and I've instructed other executives to do, is like, we'll create an email filter to a signNow folder in Outlook. We use Outlook, and so then as these requests come in for signature, it goes to a folder. And then you'll see, hey, I got 10 new signNow messages that need to be signed. And then you can go in all at once, open them all up in a browser, review, sign, review, sign, review, sign, boom, it's done. Versus the trickle effect where someone comes into your office, hey, can you sign this? Hey, can you sign this? Oh, let me check my mail. So it really did allow for executives to not only batch and make more efficient use of their time. I mean, that was a huge part of it, but also being able to do that when you're on the road or at home at night, or even on the weekend. If you happen to see that folder filling up, you have the app and you can take care of business and keep things moving.